Hi grade 2, happy Wednesday. It's time for another science class together again today. Thank you so much for working so well yesterday in our maths tutorial on Zoom. That was really great to do some partitioning work together. I hope that you've enjoyed today's maths class, or maths video, all about making cookies and using the different raisins to partition and find place value. Well, in science, we're going to be looking back at different types of animals again today. But before we begin, last week we had a final experiment in our science work all about plants. Now, I asked you guys to make some predictions about what would happen to 3 different types of plants. Now, with each plant, they all originated from the same place. They were from the same seeds, they were the same type of plant, and they were the same size. We used 3 different locations here at BGV. One of the plants was outside, having some natural sunlight and natural rain. One plant was inside, getting lots and lots of direct sunlight, but no water. And one was in a really dark place, with no water and very little sunlight. What did you predict would happen? Did you think the one outside would grow the best? What about the one with the most sun? Did that one grow the best? Well, today I brought you our 3 plants, and I'm going to show you the results before we move on to doing some more work about different types of animals. I was actually quite surprised by the results. I predicted that the plant that was outside, that had good sunlight on Thursday, bad rain on Friday, good sunlight on Saturday and rain on Sunday. I thought having equal amounts of rain and sun would make that grow the most. And that is this plant, and I will show you them a little bit more closely in a moment. Now, this actually has grown the most healthily. It's grown upwards and outwards and has lots and lots of new leaves. So it has done a very good job. But the one that seems to have grown the most is the one that has lots and lots of sunlight but no rain. Now, if you see the difference between this plant and this one, this has grown a lot, but do you notice the difference in the leaves? In the one that had sun and rain, the leaves have gone straight up. But if you look at this one, the leaves have turned and they followed the direction of where the sun is. So if you look at the back, all the leaves are facing towards me like I was the sun. And if we look at the front, you can see where the sun has been trying to attract the leaves. Quite interesting. And obviously the one that had no sun and no water at all has not grown at all. It's just been left what we call dormant and is a dwarf plant. It's not grown at all. One more thing before we move on is another little look at our plant that we planted together. Look how much this has grown. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shoots that have come up. These are called seedlings. So what we can say about these seedlings is that every single one of these seeds that we planted was healthy and they've all grown into these shoots. I'm going to repot this into something a little bit bigger in a few days, so hopefully we'll grow some lovely, lovely flowers. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, enough about plants. We've been working on different types of animals. Did you enjoy the video on Monday where I was acting out different animals? It was quite fun. Okay, well today we're going to be working specifically on animals that we call vertebrates. Can we say that together? Vertebrates. Well, before we actually look at vertebrates, let's quickly recall the 6 different types of animals that we worked on Monday. We have mammals, we have insects, we have birds, we have amphibians, we have reptiles, and we have fish. Let's quickly have a look at some of those spellings to recap the all-important key vocabulary for each of these different types of animals. So the 6 groups are mammals. So here I would like you very carefully to look at this key vocabulary. It's important that we learn the spellings for all of these names and different types of animals. We have reptiles, amphibians. That's one of the more tricky spellings, so it's important that we learn this key vocabulary. Insects, birds, and of course, fish. Well, as I said today, we're going to be looking at animals that we call vertebrates. Do you know what that word means? Have you heard it before? Well, vertebrates means that all of these different types of animals have what we call backbones, which is why I brought our lovely skeleton friend here today into our science room. Before we have a look a little bit more closely at different types of vertebrates, I want you now to use your right hand and go above your shoulder and your left hand and go underneath your back. And I want you, just like I'm doing now, to have a quick feel. Can you do that for me? Feel all the way up and down your back. What do you feel in the middle here? What is this funny thing? Does it feel smooth? Does it feel lumpy? What can you feel when you touch your back, just like this? Can we all do that together now? Up and down. Well, I can feel lots of different lumps. There's some places that are hard and some places that are a little bit hollow. Some places feel lumpy and some spaces don't feel lumpy at all. Well, that is your spine, otherwise known as your backbone, or a scientific or medical term, we would call that the vertebrae. Can you feel that lumpy part up and down? The question is, why do we have that? And why do other animals have that? Why do you think that we have a spine, backbone, or vertebrae? Why are we also vertebrates with other animals? Let's have a quick look at this guy. So when you do touch your backbone, like we've just practiced together, what we're feeling are these bumps here. These individual pieces of bone is what makes up our backbone. And it stems all the way from the bottom of our back, just above our waist, and goes all the way up the middle of our back, right the way to our head or to our skull. This is here to keep us standing upright. It's very, very important that we do all have this vertebrae or backbone or spine. You choose which one you want to call it. All three are correct. Now, it's very important that this is here because it keeps us standing upright, it keeps us strong, it keeps us being able to keep both feet on the ground, and also it helps, as you can see here, to have our rib cage around. The rib cage is very important, which is why it's supported by our very strong backbone. Inside the ribs, of course, we have things like our heart, our lungs, the most important things that we can have to help us live healthily. So the backbone that goes up and down our spine here is made up of lots of different pieces of bone. They're all about the same shape and about the same size. But as you can see at the bottom here, they're slightly more spread out. And what we have in between here that we can't see on our skeleton is a small little disc or a little bit of muscle. And that joins these together and helps the backbone to be able to move, which is why we can move forward and we can move backwards. That's how we bend the backbone. Now, another reason for being able to bend is also why they are not joined together like one long bone, like our arm, for example. Can you bend your arm in the middle? We can only bend on the join here. Well, that's the same. Each part of a backbone is like having a join. That means that we can be agile, we can move, we can go places very fast, we can move slowly, we can bend down, and we can reach up. And that's the same for all vertebrates, whether they're human or other types of animals. In fact, our backbone is very, very, very special. It's very, very strong, very difficult to break, which is why we're so lucky to have them. It means that we can be really super, super human and super animals, super types of species. Do you know other animals that don't have backbones, that are not vertebrates? I wonder. What about birds? Do you think they have a vertebrae? Of course they do. In fact, any animal that you put through an X-ray where you can see a skeleton will have a vertebrae or a backbone. Altogether, we are called vertebrates. Let's have a quick look a little bit more now about different types of vertebrates around the world. Some of these different types of animals that we're going to look at cross borders between all of the different 6 types that we've had a look at. For example, we are mammals. We have a vertebrae. But a fish also has a vertebrae. A bird also has a vertebrae. So it doesn't matter which 6 types of animals we are. We're going to be looking specifically at types of animals that all have, like we do, a vertebrae. Let's look a little bit more closely.
Okay, welcome to my X-ray machine. Today, we're going to be putting some different animals through our X-ray machine. An X-ray machine obviously can show us what's inside the skin, so it can show us whether these animals are vertebrates or invertebrates. Let's have a look then. Tell me, what are vertebrates? Are they A, animals that have a backbone, or B, animals that don't have a backbone? Of course, we've already looked at the skeleton. Vertebrates are animals that have a backbone. So let's have a look at some different animals then. We'll put them through the X-ray machine and see if they have a backbone and therefore are vertebrates, or if they don't have a backbone, invertebrates. First, we have a cat. Do we think a cat is a vertebrate or an invertebrate? Well, let's put it through the X-ray machine and have a look. Absolutely. Of course, a cat has a very nice backbone that helps it to walk and, of course, is a vertebrate. Have a look at another one. What about a fish? Do you think a fish is a vertebrate? Let's put it through the X-ray machine and find out. Well, of course, it definitely has a very strong backbone with all of those little bones that come off of it. The strong backbone, of course, helps it to swim. Let's have a look at another animal. What about a snail? Do we think a snail has a backbone? Hmm. Let's put it through the X-ray machine and check to see if it's a vertebrate or invertebrate. Of course, no. A snail has no backbone. So that's what we call an invertebrate. What about dinosaurs? Dinosaurs obviously lived a long, long time ago. And if you've ever been to a history museum, maybe you've seen some fossils of dinosaurs. Do we think fossil dinosaurs were vertebrates? Have a look and put our dinosaur through the X-ray machine. Of course, dinosaurs were very, very large and they had very, very, very many bones, huge bones, with, of course, a very strong backbone. So, of course, dinosaurs were vertebrates. What about this jellyfish? Do you think a jellyfish is a vertebrate? Well, let's put it through our X-ray machine and have a look. No, it has no backbone, so of course it must be an invertebrate. Let's check one more animal. What about eagles? Obviously, eagles are very, very large predator birds. Do you think it's a vertebrate or an invertebrate? Let's pop it through the X-ray machine and have a look. There we are. we can see all birds, definitely including eagles, have backbones. That's where all of the wings are able to get all of their power from that very strong backbone. What about worms? Worms obviously move very carefully along the ground. Do they move like snakes? Are they able to have backbones? Well, let's click on the snake, click on the worm and have a look. No, worms do not have backbones. So again, just like the jellyfish, it is an invertebrate. Now, what about frogs? Frogs obviously have to jump very large and very long distances. Do you think it's a vertebrate? Well, let's put it through the X-ray machine and have a look. Absolutely. They don't have very large backbones, but of course, yes, for those powerful, strong legs at the back, they are based around a backbone for all of that support. And here we have a human, just like you and me. Are we vertebrates? Well, we practiced touching our spines and touching our backs to feel our vertebrae. So, of course, we must be absolutely vertebrates. There we are. We also had a look at the skeleton just before in the science room as well. So, there's a bit of a closer look at some different types of animals that are vertebrates, including you and I. I wonder, can you name any other animals that you think are vertebrates? Another time, we're going to be looking at animals that are invertebrates. So we'll be looking at the opposite of vertebrates. Okay, super job.
Well, grade 2, we are going to be working a lot more on different types of animals. As you've seen on Monday, we learned the 6 different types of animals. Today, we've crossed all of those different types of animals, those different groups, and found out which ones are vertebrates, just like us. We're going to be looking a little bit more closely at another type of animal when we come back together on Friday. I hope that you've enjoyed learning all about vertebrates today. If you want to, go back and have another look at this video and see more of different types of learning that we can do together. Good luck. Thank you very much for listening so well today. I'll see you again on Friday. But before then, I'll see you on Zoom tomorrow. All right, take care for now. Bye, grade 2. Bye.